Wade Boggs might have the best mustache in Major League history. Let's get into the story of Hall of Fame third baseman Wade Boggs. If you guys enjoy this series, please leave a like and consider subscribing. Wade Boggs is very comparable to Tony Gwynn. Tony Gwynn dominated the National League in the same sort of style that Wade Boggs dominated the American League. Both had inside-out swings and high averages. Wade Boggs was born June 15th, 1958, in Omaha, Nebraska. 18 years later, Wade Boggs was drafted by the Boston Red Sox in 1976 in the 7th round, and he soon was able to showcase the inside-out swing that was taught to him by his father. Scout George Digby, who signed Boggs, had this to say about a young Wade Boggs. Everyone was looking for the perfect player, and he wasn't a good runner, he didn't have great hands, or an outstanding arm, but I liked his bat. I scout bats. I never saw anyone yet that can steal first base. Wade Boggs tore up the minor leagues, hitting over 305 of his 6 seasons. The only season he didn't hit 300 was his first season with low-A Red Sox affiliate, the Elmira Pioneers, with a .263 average in only 179 at-bats. April 10th of 1982 was Wade Boggs' debut for the Red Sox against the Orioles, and was a very quiet one, as he went 0 for 4 in his first game in the big leagues. But a key piece of good news was that while he had a hitless debut, he didn't strike out, which would be a key component of his dominance throughout his career. For his entire Major League career, Wade Boggs walked almost double what he struck out, walking 1,412 times compared to only 745 strikeouts. He never struck out more than 68 times in one season. His first taste of the big leagues proved to be a fluke, as he ended up with a .349 average in 381 plate appearances, a .406 on-base percentage, a 3.9 WAR, and finishing third in the Rookie of the Year voting, behind Kent Hrbek in second and Cal Ripken, who won. Nobody must have informed Wade Boggs that the sophomore season for most MLB players is a challenging one. Boggs made it look easy, hitting .361, winning his first batting title, and reigning in the Silver Slugger award while finishing 12th in the MVP award voting. Believe it or not, Wade Boggs didn't make the All-Star team until his 4th season, his age 27 season. Not for lack of performance, as you can tell. His 3rd season, he hit .325 in 726 plate appearances with an .823 OPS and a .407 on-base percentage, and managed to miss out on the All-Star game, Silver Slugger, and MVP voting. Wade Boggs took offense to this nonsense he was encountering with the voters. He took it upon himself to show the baseball world what he could do at his absolute best. Wade Boggs, after getting snubbed, won 4 straight batting titles and would go to the All-Star game for the next 12 seasons in a row, which ranks second only to Brooks Robinson in terms of consecutive All-Star game appearances. Wade Boggs finished during the next 6 seasons, from 1985 to 1990, 4th, 7th, 9th, 6th, 21st, and 22nd in the MVP award voting. An absolute disgrace, and we'll get into why that is later on. Wade Boggs had his best season of his career during the 1987 campaign, where he hit 24 home runs, the most of his career, with 84 runs driven in as he hit .363 with a .461 on-base percentage with a .588 slugging, the highest of his career, along with an OPS sky high at a 1.049 mark. He won the batting title this year while also leading the league in on-base, OPS, OPS plus, and intentional walks. He won a Silver Slugger, and this is the year he finished, get ready for it, 9th in the MVP award voting. Let's see the 8 players ahead of him. In order from 1st to 8th, George Bell, Alan Trammell, Kirby Puckett, Dwight Evans, Paul Molitor, Mark McGwire, Don Mattingly, and Tony Fernandez. That's a pretty talented group, but Boggs was better. WAR isn't always the best stat, but he had the highest WAR of that group. He had the highest average within the same amount of plate appearances as most of the other 8 players. Sure, Wade Boggs didn't have the 47 home runs that first place George Bell had, but Wade Boggs was a different player. A more complete player, might I add. George Bell won the MVP with a 5 WAR. If you're familiar with Angels utility man David Fletcher, David in 2019 had a 4.5 WAR. George Bell had 0.5 higher WAR than a guy who wasn't even in the top 21 for the American League MVP voting this past season. The guy who was the closest to beating out Wade Boggs in my revote for the 1987 MVP was Alan Trammell, who had an 8.2 WAR, 0.1 less than Wade Boggs, but he hit .343 with a .953 OPS and 5 more hits than Wade Boggs. In my mind, Wade Boggs won the MVP in 1987. Going into his age 35 season in 1993, the Red Sox had just witnessed Wade Boggs' worst season of his career thus far, hitting .259 with a career-low .711 OPS. The Yankees saw an opportunity for a rebound and signed him to a 3-year, $11 million deal. During his tenure with the Yankees from 1993 to 1997, Wade Boggs hit .313 with an .803 OPS. In terms of fielding, Boggs had around a +5 runs above average for his career before joining the Yankees. But then, he won 2 Gold Gloves in 1994 and 1995. He also earned 2 Silver Sluggers and made 4 All-Star teams during his time with the Yankees. Wade Boggs' last stop of his career was to Tampa Bay, but he earned his greatest accomplishment there. He got his 3,000th hit during his age 41 season and called it quits after the 1999 season. A fun fact is that Boggs was the first player to have his 3,000th hit be a home run. The other 2 to do it are Derek Jeter and A-Rod. Boggs was known for his superstitions as much as his hitting. He ate chicken before every game. I'm not at all sure that his doctor would approve of this superstition. But anyway, some other superstitions were that he woke up at the same time every day and took 150 ground balls in practice. Wade Boggs is widely credited with teaching the Yankees their now famous extreme pitch selection, swinging only at perfect pitches and fouling off close but tough to hit pitches, forcing teams to go to their bullpens. Before Boggs joined the Yankees, they were 14th in pitches per plate appearance, and after he joined, they were 4th and then 1st in his first and second seasons after he joined the team. Let's talk about his career accomplishments. He had 3,010 hits, only 118 home runs, but had a very good .858 OPS. He had a career .328 average and a .415 on-base percentage. His career WAR is 91.4. His WAR is higher than the likes of Bob Gibson, Chipper Jones, Pedro Martinez, Rod Carew, Ken Griffey Jr., and Pete Rose, just to name a few. Inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2005, he is a 12-time All-Star, 2-time Gold Glove winner, 5-time batting title, 8-time Silver Slugger, 1996 World Series champ, 15 out of his 18 seasons he hit over 300, first player ever to have 6 consecutive 200-hit seasons, and has a scoreless inning of relief. Wade Boggs never won an MVP award, but like we talked about earlier, he should have won at least one. And there can be arguments made during other years besides 1987 for Boggs winning the MVP. The Chicken Man, as some called him, is one of the most under-the-radar Hall of Famers that was amazing and not enough people talk about him. He is 61 years old currently and will celebrate his 62nd birthday this June. Thank you guys for watching, and hopefully you enjoyed episode 2 of Baseball Storytime. I'll see you guys in the next video. Later.